Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the 10th basketball coach at UNCW, Mr. Kevin Keats.
Coach, welcome to Trask Coliseum, first of all. A lot of people here are looking forward to you saving the program, putting it back where it has been, possibly going further. Do you look at yourself as the savior here at UNCW? I've heard a few people sort of use that one word.
Okay, and I will work hard as I can to get this program back to where it deserves to be. It's going to take a heck of a commitment, and not just for the guys that's sitting on the front row, for everybody in the community, everybody in the school, everybody that's associated to the program. Okay? We will turn the program around.
5.2 left.
They give it to Tankston.
No timeouts remaining. Green. Wanye Green, Player of the Year, the CAA for the win.
So I'm making a commitment. I know every time they tell you when you go to a press conference, don't ever make any promises. But with everybody's hard work, with the community's hard work, with the faculty's hard work, and us as players and coaches, we will get this program back to where it was in '06. I promise you that, okay?
Not going to be enough for Hofstra tonight. UNC Wellington wins their 5th CAA Conference Championship and are heading to the big dance for the first time in 10 years.
Coach Keats, congratulations to you and the Seahawks. You're the CAA champions. You're going to the big dance.
Hey, I'm TJ Carter, 2006 CAA Tournament MVP and proud alum. Being a part of a winning culture taught me that success takes communication, trust, and teamwork. That's exactly what I bring every day at Southeast Mortgage. Whether you're buying your first home, moving up, or renovating your existing home, my team and I are here to guide you every step of the way. Together, we'll make your home buying journey a slam dunk. So why wait for overtime? Take the shot, call me today, or visit my website below.
Yeah, it was when Kevin came in. It was fun. Suddenly there was life, you know, and the lineage that Kevin came from. You know, he came from success, and you saw right away that all right, this is different. Practices were different. The kids were different. Just the attitude. You felt early on a shift.
I traveled to Memphis. Kevin was at the University of Louisville then, and I guess they were playing in the conference basketball tournament at the FedEx tournament, at FedEx Forum rather. And I had made arrangements to meet Kevin after their team dinner at the hotel where the Ducks walk out of the elevator, the Peabodys, we all know that. And I had a wonderful visit with Kevin in the Peabody. I spent about 2 hours in there. He was a perfect gentleman. And the next morning, I was sitting in an airplane scheduled to fly to Greensboro to interview an ACC assistant coach later that day. I actually got Kevin on the phone before we pulled out from the gate. I said, Kevin, I think you're the right person for this job. I think your family will love Wilmington. And I said, but I can't pay you as much as you're making at the University of Louisville right now. And he said back to me on that telephone call, don't worry about the money. I want to be there.
You know, it wasn't a no-brainer, Mike, at first, and here's why. I looked at, they were coming off of, I want to say 6 or 7 straight losing seasons, and it was going to be a challenge. So I looked at it as, hey, here's a great opportunity. I love opportunities. I love to take advantage of those. But that being said, you're taking over a program that hadn't won in so long. The last time that they won consistently was under Brad at that time. And I was like, man, this will be a big challenge. But at the end of the day, I said, I'm leaving a great job at Louisville as assistant coach. We had went to the Final Four, won a national championship, and then my last year, Sweet 16. But I really wanted to be a head coach, and I saw this as an outstanding opportunity. Thank you. It's a great day to be a Seahawk. I can tell you that.
I know I told the story a million times, but Jimmy Bass brought Cedric and I into his office, and he told us to hang tight and not to make any moves because he was bringing somebody on campus that he thought that we would like. And then he specifically said, Craig, I know you're very familiar with him. I didn't know who he was talking about at the time. And I'll never forget that day after we had finished in the lifting session, we walk into the locker room and Jimmy Bass is showing around Coach Keats at the time. And Coach Keats, Craig, don't tell anybody, don't even tell your mother.
Yeah, it was a funny time, to be honest with you, because I was watching his time at Louisville, and he had called me. I forget what day of the week it was. They were in the tournament. They were about to play St. Louis, and he had called me, and I picked up the phone, and he's like, "Let me call you back." And so for me, I'm kind of thinking, something's going on. He's about to take a job because it was his time. It was his time, and I waited 2 days for him to call me back, and he finally called me back and told me, "Hey, look, I had a couple options here." It's funny. It was between Marshall and UNCW. He said, I got an opportunity at UNC Wilmington, and I'd like for you to come with me. And I said, Coach, I'll pack my bags right now and walk to Wilmington. I'm ready. And I was very excited about it because, like I told you, this was a dream school for me. And for it to come full circle, for me to be a coach here, that was a no-brainer for me. So that's kind of how that went, and the rest is history.
I remember, those early days and, putting together a program and thinking this is going to be a long turnaround. And, I got to give credit to the guys that were in the program. You think about Craig Ponder, who's on the staff now, who played for me at Hargrave. I thought he was the bridge guy. We came in and surprisingly, that team, who was not as talented as most teams that's been in the CAA, they played so extremely hard. They played for one another. We played about 8 guys, and we found a way to be, tied for regular season champions and 18 wins with that team.
It wasn't easy. When we first got here, we were at the bottom, at the basement of the league, and everything just around the program was off. And, Coach had a vision. He wanted to come in and do it right away. And so from day one, we talked about winning championships with our team. And changing the way that they think was very important. And from day one, he did that.
I remember we talked about that first year, those guys that lost so many road games. When we got to the one at UNC Greensboro, and I'm in the locker room and I'm jumping up and down and I'm pumped up. And I'm like, man, and I go in there and nobody's moving. I was like, what is wrong with you guys? And they hadn't won on the road. So that's when I came up with, hey, we're going to go get ice cream. And finally, ice cream can make everyone smile. And they ended up jumping up and down.
Yeah, it was very important to me. And also, like you said, we went to the CIT. So that was important to have postseason tournament, even though it's just the CIT. But
well, it was important because, at that time you can go to postseason play. The CIT was a good tournament at the time, and we got the experience. If you remember, Mike, I had 5 guys sitting out that were ready to play next year. I knew we were going to return some of the other guys. I just wanted the extra practice time and the experience. Thinking about this coming in, winning 18 games, I think we were 12-6 in the conference that year. And then to be able to have extra practices and then add all of those good players, I thought we could be really good. So that's why we wanted to do the postseason play in a CIT.
Well, you had a very experienced, very knowledgeable, a very hardworking coach, and then you had a bunch of guys that were just sick and tired of losing. Like I said earlier, we had one common goal in mind when we came to school, initially. So you put those two together with a coach and a staff that wanted to push guys who were hungry to win, and we all were, we were basically a blank canvas at that point, because although we had spent a couple of years in college basketball, we didn't really know what it took to win. And then him coming in April, having those individual workouts with us, we still talk about those to this day, about how tough they were. And that's exactly why it happened so fast, is because the second that he got here to campus, he instilled hard work, extreme hard work in all of us. And then
honestly, I think we knew that second year it was up. It was up from there, because like that first year, a lot of people didn't see, like they seen who we had on the roster from like transfer, but they didn't see them on the court. And we seen them every day and had to practice against them. And we was like, oh my God, that was the best practice squad I've seen in my life to this day. Like guarding them, and then they guarding us. So we knew right when they was eligible to play, it was over from there. And it made practice so much harder too, because we're a team, but we all competing at the same time. So everybody competing, so practice was 10 times harder than the games to us that second year.
And the guys that were sitting out, it was great. You couldn't do that now because of the transfer, one-time transfer. But those guys actually embraced the culture. And so when they came in running. I mean, that team was really good. I think, Mike, that second year, 25-8, 14-4. We had really good players. The guys who were returning were also good, but it added those guys like Denzel Ingram. You talk about Chris Flemings, and then I added two unique freshmen that were really good, and CJ Bryce, and who could not forget Devontae Kaycock. But we got going because of the culture that was built early, and typically that doesn't happen in a program, but it was exciting to see how we climbed each year.
That first year, pretty sure they were regular season champs, if I remember correctly. So even when I saw like the success already happening even before I got there, I was like, okay, this is a great decision. I already see it's already in the works. Everybody's buying in. They're being consistent. They're winning games. Like, okay, this is the mentality now.
Hey, I'm TJ Carter, 2006 CAA Tournament MVP and proud alum. Being a part of a winning culture taught me that success takes communication, trust, and teamwork. That's exactly what I bring every day at Southeast Mortgage. Whether you're buying your first home, moving up, or renovating your existing home, my team and I are here to guide you every step of the way. Together, we'll make your home buying journey a slam dunk. So while wait for overtime, take the shot, call me today, or visit my website below.
Absolutely. The tournament is something we looked at as, all right, you got to win this many games in a row, which at that point we had already done. But at the same time, knowing that the mentality shifts of, like, this is what every team has been working for all year. So it's not going to be easy. No team's just going to lay over. The regular season, honestly, at that point, didn't matter from the best team to the worst team. Everyone has opportunity and is fighting for that championship. So I think that was the most together we were all season, just knowing that we're going to have adversities and we got to limit the mistakes as much as possible, try to play perfect games. And our focus was one game at a time. Because, yeah, you can win 10, but you can't win 10 games in a row without that first one. So it was just one game after the next.
We knew we had a chance. We knew we had a chance, and we knew if we could execute 3 days in a row that we obviously would end up doing what we did. But the year previously, we got to the semifinals, and we realized how tough it is, that second game.
8 seconds to go. Northeastern fans are sensing it. Walker. It's going to end up in the hands of Ford as he watches the clock tick down, and Northeastern is moving on to the CAA championship game to face William and Mary tomorrow night.
So that's where we I'll be honest, I think that's why we came out flat that first game against Charleston.
Nick Harris gets another chance. Cameron Johnson off the window. He did not call it. And now Kevin Keats needs a timeout. And they've done it without Peyton Halsey doing anything, and they do. How about that from Cameron Johnson? Cameron Johnson got the three.
Perfect half. You couldn't play any better than that. 7 out of 8 from 3. So
just learning from the year before and where we fell short at. And once we made it to the championship game, I think as a unit, we all banded together, and there was no way we were going to lose that game.
Ingram, who started hot, is over 3 cents. Instead, it's Flemings who puts up a 3. There's no doubt Flemings, nice fake to take it inside. Chris Flemings. Ponder for 3. Count it! Ingram for Ponder, got a good look. And got it to go. It's a 3 for Craig Ponder.
When we went in overtime, I was thinking to myself, man, we're not going to win. We're not going to win. And then we started making some plays, and the guys' confidence kept rising.
The ball fake got the defense to shift. Excellent dime.
On a pass by Denzel Ingram, the brace, and the foul as well. Ingram. Shot clock. Puts it up a 3. Count it! Denzel Ingram for UNCW.
A game of runs, honestly, that game was special. That game was special. Even though we was down that game, we knew we was going to win the game, and we honestly was the better team. But what I remember the most out of that game, what comes to mind the most, that CJ and 1, Craig big shots, Zell big shots. Just a team effort, honestly, from top to bottom.
If I remember, you had the ball in your hand, you dribbled out the clock, did you not?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What did that moment mean to you?
It meant everything, because I tell the guys here to this day, that year, I believe we set the record for before we broke it, when we came back, for most consecutive wins in a row. But I was also on the team that set the record for most consecutive losses in a row. So me going and getting that rebound was nothing but frustration, a release of frustration. So yeah, that's why it was so special for me, man, because like I said, I literally seen the program do a 180, and to be a part of the reason why that happened was just something that was always special for me.
Well, it meant a lot to me because Craig had went through so much. He was a good player at Hargrave. He got a school who he really loved in UNCW, and his first 2 or 3 years, he just didn't have the success of winning as a group. And just to see him, I think he threw the ball so far in the air, you could tell he was so excited about it. We were pumped up. It was just a great feeling, and it was a great feeling just for those guys who were on the team, but also for UNCW, because that was more of a sign that we're back.
I was hyped. I was like, okay, Duke, for me, and I'm pretty sure all of us, we honestly didn't care who we played. I feel like we could compete with anybody at that level in college. And I was like, okay, Duke, let's do it. And, I definitely saw a lot of people counting us out, which I feel like added more fuel to our fire, because we definitely wanted to make some upsets in the tournament. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly, it was absolutely pretty cool and amazing. My mom's been a huge Duke fan my entire life. Literally, when she was in labor with me, was not going to have me until I think she was watching one of the Duke championship games that season, and would not have until that game went off. But going from that, of course, growing up in the Cary, like 30 minutes away from Duke, we were going to games as much as possible, events at Duke. She always wanted us to go to Duke if we had the chance to. So just kind of seeing that, but still knowing I had the support, and then playing against Coach K, an absolute legend. Like it doesn't get better than that. And growing up in North Carolina, you either want to go to Duke, Carolina State, or you want to beat them any chance you get. So seeing that on the board was another opportunity, and the biggest thing, all the guys were locked in. We never looked at it as Duke. It's all right, this is another game. Let's go. Win this game, play the best that we can do, and we honestly felt like we were going to win that game going into it. So it wasn't like a shock to us that we were in the game.
On tally 16 fouls against the Seahawks.
And that was a good defensive possession without fouling on the drive.
Ponder hangs and hits. An opportunity for three.
Now they're getting to the paint.
The real stuff's coming up.
Oh yeah, he's a yell man. He wants everybody to win.
Nice passing on the inside and the foul. Kaycock with the deuce. Ponder. A follow jam. Chris Flemings for UNCW.
But it was, I couldn't, like, even our celebration when we found out we was playing Duke, we couldn't ask for nothing else. Like, it was meant to be. Like, that's exactly who we wanted. And it didn't go exactly how we wanted it to go, but we put up a fight, and everybody knew who UNCW was after that.
We were so excited. And our guys, they came into that game, wanting to win that game. I thought we played well early. I thought late in the game, I thought Duke's size took over a little bit against us. But you look at it, we showed up to win the game, and I was so proud of those guys by the way that they competed. And they didn't play Duke. A lot of people, especially a mid-major team, would be so scared to play Duke. Our guys were not scared. They were ready to play that game.
I think the biggest thing starting that summer, the intensity continued to pick up. It wasn't just all right, we won a championship, so we can kind of close through preseason. I honestly feel like we probably trained even harder because we wanted that. We had the taste of what it felt like. We knew what it took to get there, but we knew it was going to be harder the second season. So we picked up the intensity, tried to do everything better, no matter what it was, from little things all the way up to big things. And biggest thing was just working together. Everyone's on the same page of everyone wanted to win. We didn't care how we won, who was scoring, who wasn't scoring. It was, hey, whatever I have to do to win. And everyone had that mindset and mentality.
Like, then going into that junior year, now we expected to win. Like, every game we expected to win. Like, we didn't think nobody was better than us. And it kind of showed on the court. Like, it was some close games, but most of them we just ran them off the court. So I think the mindset change with that is we went from learning how to win to honestly expecting to win.
And, what I told the guys during the summer is, hey, you've earned this opportunity. I still don't think nationally people recognize how good we are. So let's just not play for our conference. Let's play to be one of the best mid-major teams in the country. And we surely proved that year.
And if anything, too, losing to Duke added more fuel to our fire for the next year. We're like, we've been here, we want to get here again, we want to do it again. So I feel like it wasn't really pressure. We knew, we kind of had like a swagger, like, okay, it's time to lock in, let's go win some games, let's do what we got to do.
We welcome you to Bracket Week, presented by Kubota on CBS Sports Network. They call it high stakes in the low country. The 2017 Colonial Athletic Association Championship game from North Charleston, South Carolina. Top-seeded defending champ UNCW takes on second-seeded College of Charleston. The winner is off to the NCAA tournament. To get to this point, the Seahawks beat Delaware in the quarterfinals. They knocked off William & Mary yesterday in the semifinals. The Cougars took care of Towson in the second semi, setting up our championship game tonight.
Yeah, I think one thing I learned my third year is that UNCW fans can drink a lot now. I tell you what, they travel, but Baltimore was great too. We partied there. But when you in Charleston and you get a chance to see everybody drive up, and when you run out of that tunnel and it's tournament time, and you see over half of the place with UNCW and some teal, you know that you're in good shape at that point.
Yeah. I will say, I remember that game like it was yesterday as well. So many fans, like you said, it was a very short drive. So I think they had like the tour buses filled up with fans to just come down. They were ready for the games and everything like that. And that was a great vibe. As soon as you come down the tunnel, you just hear all the fans. UNCW, you pretty much saw UNCW and Charleston fill up the whole stadium. And that was a great feeling. And even during the game, you could hear every time we scored, just the buzz. It was like times 10. People screaming, hollering, going crazy.
Welcome to the night for the redshirt freshman Grant Riller. Wild return shot off the glass, up and in for Jordan Tallier, circus layup. Ambrose Mosley for Flemings for three. Wow! What a possession for UNCW. Price up top. Kaycock down low. And one. Devontae Kaycock for UNCW.
And even to hearing that final buzzer and we won the game and seeing all the fans running onto the court and everybody just happy. You see some tears. You see everybody smiling, have a great time. I definitely feel like that rivalry and it being in Charleston couldn't have been better. It was a great setting, great setup, great everything.
And so it meant so much more. The pressure that was on that team to be the #1 seed, to be the defending champions, to go into Charleston and to win in the manner that we won and beat a good Charleston team, man, that says a lot about where the program was headed. That shows a lot about the players and the coaching, the assistant coaches, and the fan base for the support.
Last year we picked 6 and we finished first. And when you look at this year, you pick 1 and you got a target on, you got a bullseye. You took everybody's best shot. And I want you to think about something else that I said is, in the whole year since we played Duke in the NCAA, we've only lost 5 games.
7. Moving on down the East region. First round games to be played in Orlando, March 16th. Virginia's Cavaliers, the #5 seed, the second team out of the ACC. Coach Tony Bennett leading his Cavaliers to 11 ACC wins, a school record 5th straight year, and they will take on the UNC Wilmington Seahawks, the #12 seed out of the Colonial Athletic Association.
And my partner just talked about where the magic happens in March in this tournament is with the 12, 13, 14 seeds. This team, UNC Wilmington, scared Duke a year ago, has just about everybody back. This is a team that I think will advance, that UNC Wilmington Seahawks.
All right.
Well, I knew, I said, man, why are they keep putting me up against 2 ACC schools? Like we don't have any opportunity to play someone else. I knew it would be a contrasting style. You know, Tony Bennett has done a great job there. We wanted to try to speed them up. We wanted to make them play fast. I thought we did an incredible job in the game. It's the first time that I've seen a Tony Bennett team have to switch 1 through 5. They had to go a little smaller because we spaced them out early in the game. We made shots.
See how quickly Wilmington gets the ball up, gets organized. If they don't have the advantage of numbers, they get into their sets.
Talley sharing the backcourt with Ingram. That's a long 3. Denzel Ingram from deep. And the first lead of the day for the Seahawks. Ingram handles it. New shot clock to work with. Now a switch. Strokes it. And knocks it down. Denzel Ingram. The 5th-year senior is fearless. They back off. Flemings. Jump shot goes. Beautiful knockdown by Ambrose Mosley of this first half. 15-11 Seahawks. Jumper goes. Ambrose Mosley. CA.com or in the March Madness live app. Inside. Kaycock rocks the rim. 4. Talley gets it ahead. Another J. Ambrose Mosley is locked in.
Yeah, it was honestly, the CAA kind of prepared us for that game because not exactly, but they were kind of similar to the play style that Charleston played. So we've had that experience of playing those slower paced games, knowing that every shot, every possession is extremely important. So you can't have the silly mistakes, silly turnovers, because you're not going to get that many possessions in the game to be able to make up for it like those higher scoring games are. And going into it, we felt like we let one slip against Duke. So that was the focus from the moment we lost to Duke to that next season of let's get back, let's get our opportunity, and let's continue to play just as hard as we can and put ourselves in a position to win.
Well, I knew that they were really good defensively. So trying to give coach some pointers on how we want to attack them, trying to get the guys ready and help them understand what we were up against. And we kind of had to change a little bit how we played. Virginia was very efficient on both ends of the floor, so you had to minimize your mistakes.
And it's Kaycock. That's it. Yep. They've accounted for all 28 points. Too many steps. Turnover. Flemings, the first turnover for UNCW. Ingram thought about it. To the post. Kaycock, a travel. And now the Virginia defense is starting to get under the skin of UNCW. Second foul on Kaycock. Lob it in, and the slap away by Shayok.
Boy, Shayok is everywhere, both ends of the floor, influencing the game.
Hall, penetration. Guy, book it, a 3.
we had ourselves in a position to win the game, and I forget the kid's name, Shayak. They went small ball and matched us, and he tore us up.
48, Thompson the penetration. Hall forced to give it up. Shayak fires and hits a three. By Mosley. Guy draws defenders. Shayak, bottom. It's a three. New career high for Mariel Shayak. Shot clock is down to 5. Shayak off balance, banks it in. Mariel Shayak with a huge bucket for Virginia.
And we were right there, Mike, to win that game. Like we were, 2 games to Duke and also UVA. We were right there, just couldn't get over the hump. But we were playing against 2 really good teams.
For success in the tournament. You want to win every game, but sometimes those losses are the difference.
Ingram misses at the horn. Virginia is marching on to the second round.
Well, I think it was great because you look, obviously, the story. I ended up going to NC State right after that. And, man, you look at it and Duke and playing UVA at NC State is tough, or anywhere in the country. We were right there at UNCW. So I thought that made it a little special to know that, we were one of the better teams in the country that year, 29-6, to go 15-3 in your conference. That said a lot. And I thought on any given night, we could have beat any of those tournament teams. We just happened to run into 2 really good ones.
The season ended yesterday for the UNCW men's basketball team. Most of the players will return next year. The big question is, will head coach Kevin Keatts be back for a 4th season? WWY's John Rodeman has been on top of this story and joins us now with the big story at 6. Hi, John.
And this is not the news that Seahawk Nation wants to hear. In fact, there is going to be a coaching change because NC State Athletics Director Debbie Yao met with Kevin Keatts today about the vacant head coaching position in Raleigh for Wolfpack basketball. And apparently the meeting went well because ESPN reports that Kevin Keatts has agreed to be the new head basketball coach in Raleigh at NC State. Kevin Keatts, of course.
It means a lot. I don't take it for granted. UNCW gave me an opportunity that they could have given to anyone. And for them to trust the program, especially where it was at, and, kind of give me the keys to the car and just say, hey, we need you to fix this. I think that means a lot. I'm excited to be a part of it, but I'm excited to be a part of it because they're not about just me. It's a lot of hard work that's went in there between the players, the coaches, the staffs, the administration, the fan base. And, when you look back to the 75th, it's been done with everybody. It's not one single coach, not one single player, not one single administrator, one single fan. It's a collective group of people who have come together to make this program successful.
And so for us to leave, I was a little sad. I may have cried a little bit, but I was excited about the opportunity to go to Raleigh. NC State was a program that I had followed for a long time. And so I got excited about that being close to home. But I've always, every chance I got when I was in Raleigh, I came back to Wilmington to spend time. So this is a special place for me.
In 2017, when I left, we were hopeful that KO would get the job, and unfortunately he didn't. He'll probably tell you that, everything happens for a reason. I will say the same thing. They decided to go with someone else. CB McGrath, who I really like CB. I thought in 2020, he was the perfect candidate for the job. We were having success at NC State. He was a huge part of our success at UNCW 3 years prior. He was ready to be a head coach. In 2017, I thought he was ready. We wouldn't know that. But after having high major experience and, obviously playing in the NCAA tournament 2 years and then our first year at NC State, he was certainly ready and prepared for that. And I really think everything happens for, were we disappointed that he didn't get it in 17? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. And I'm so excited that he got the chance in 20, and you've seen what he's done so far. Well, I just think everybody got to understand that we're in a different world today. And, everything is driven by rev share and NIL. And I think the biggest thing is I would love the support to continue where they show up for games. But also, it's got to be shifted a little bit that if you're willing and able to be able to make some donation to help Mike and to KO to continue to keep the program rolling, it'd be great. Guys like Mike McCauley has done a great job, and you think about Bill Russell, and they've added people, but there's so many folks that in Wilmington that I wish would get behind the program a little bit more, because it's a great program, and when UNCW is doing well, the whole city of Wilmington is doing well.
The heart and soul of the UNCW team, trying to put his Seahawks into the NCAA tournament. This one should seal it. Newby